What frightens you? Is it the monster under the bed? The ghost in the attic? Or is it something far more subtle? Something you can't name? Something you only imagine? For humans, the greatest terror is often not in what we know, but in the terrifying, chaotic gap of the unknown. In the city's oldest district stood a forgotten relic, the Rookwood, a towering, shadowed apartment building heavy with history and whispers. And in the Rookwood, on the 7th floor, there was a door. Door number 7. It was always locked, its wood dark and dense, silently absorbing decades of human fear. Every resident knew the rule. You do not approach door number 7. You do not speak of what might be inside. You certainly do not try to open it. But today we will. Today the lock is broken, and the question is not what we will find, but what we will lose when the legend finally gives way to the truth. The tenants of the Rookwood were experts in avoidance. They were artists of fear. Mrs. Periwinkle, who lived across the hall, swore it housed the ghost of a violinist whose melody caused madness. Mr. Hemlock, the cynical accountant, claimed it was a hidden vault where a mob boss stored his stolen, cursed fortune. Even the superintendent, a massive, unshakable man named Gus, would only mutter about bad energy and rush past it, keys silent in his pocket. The rumors changed with the generations, fueled by the darkness of the hall and the simple fact that no one had ever seen the inside. It became a perfect vessel for every personal demon and collective anxiety. But one person saw it differently. Ilara. Ilara was 8 years old, all curiosity and bright, unapologetic logic. She found the fear fascinating, but ultimately illogical. She didn't believe in the ghost or the cursed fortune. For Ilara, door number 7 wasn't a vault or a tomb. It was a challenge, a puzzle box containing the most fundamental human question. What are we truly afraid of? Ilara started her quest quietly. First, she asked Gus, the superintendent, for the key. He looked at her as if she'd asked for his soul. Gus, voice grumbling, "Child, there is no key. It's been welded shut. The original owner. He threw it away decades ago. Don't you dare go near that." Ilara knew he was lying. Weld or no weld, the key had to exist. Her search led her not to the maintenance closet, but to the dusty belongings of old Mr. Finch, who had moved out the month before. Hidden at the bottom of a cigar box amidst old stamps and rusty trinkets, she found it. A single heavy copper key stamped with the number 7. The evening she chose was quiet. The air in the hall was thick with nervous anticipation. Word had traveled that the Finch girl was going to do it. Neighbors were peeking out from behind their door peepholes. A silent jury of the terrified. This kind of courage, the will to face the scary unknowns of life, is the foundation of every inspiring story we share here. If you find value in narratives that challenge your mind and encourage deeper thought, please take a moment right now and hit the subscribe button. Your support helps us keep the pursuit of truth alive. Ilara stood before the dark wood, the copper key heavy in her small hand. This was the moment of truth, the moment where the legend had to die or prove itself real. She pushed the key into the tumbler. The ancient mechanism groaned, a sound like a forgotten promise being forcefully retrieved. The cylinder turned and the heavy bolt clicked back. Ilara took a deep breath, placed her hand on the door, and pushed it inward. The door swung open slowly, revealing the secret that had haunted the building for 50 years. The room was not a torture chamber. It was not a ghost haunt. It was empty. Absolutely, utterly empty. No furniture, no dust, no signs of life, except for a single small window looking out onto a bleak brick wall. The air felt stale, but benign. But wait. At the far end of the room, covering the entire back wall, was something unexpected. A giant floor-to-ceiling mirror. And centered right above the mirror, bolted into the wall, was a simple copper plaque. Alara squinted and read the words aloud, her voice echoing in the silence. The neighbors who had dared to watch gasped. A unified sound of confusion and deep disappointment rippled through the hall. The cursed treasure, gone. The ghost, non-existent. The terrible, fascinating secret. It was a dusty, empty room with a mirror. The people watching in the hall walked away defeated. They wanted a mystery. They wanted a thrilling conclusion that justified their long-held fear. A simple, empty room, a mirror, was profoundly unsatisfying. But Alara understood. The room contained no secret because it was never meant to hold a secret. It was a psychological experiment. The original, eccentric owner of the Rookwood had left the room empty, locked, and waiting. He knew that human beings cannot tolerate a void. We are driven to fill emptiness with our own content. Door number 7 had simply been a blank canvas, and every resident had painted their deepest, most personal fear onto that locked door. When Alara opened the door, she wasn't destroying a legend. She was merely holding a mirror up to the community, and what they saw reflected wasn't a monster, but their own wide-eyed, anxious faces. This is the power of the things we don't look at. We make them bigger, scarier, and more powerful than they could ever be. If you want to conquer a hidden fear, don't run from the dark corner. Shine a light on it. Open your own door number 7. We all have a metaphorical door number 7 in our lives. What do you think is hiding behind your own personal locked door? What fear or missed opportunity are you most afraid to look at? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. We'd love to read your reflections. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.